Hey, so I have a comment to make about Jordan Peterson, and he always has these solutions for rearing children and having children and all this stuff. And that's great. That's great that somebody wants to talk about child rearing and how you should raise them, what kind of psychological factors influence children and you yourself. That's fine. But he never talks about the fact that children come into existence without their consent. Um, it always seems that he kind of ignores that children are people too, and he approaches everything from the parental side about the challenges that you will have when you have children, but he never discusses the challenges that the children will have in coming to existence and suffering, almost as if they matter less than the benefits you get from parenting, right? So I just have that beef with Jordan Peterson. Um, and I have another article that I found. It's from the um, National Review, and it's called "There Aren't Data to Support Anti-Natalism. Depopulation will not fix itself because there is no dormant natural force that is waiting to stabilize the global population." So he says, sorry, the author is Susannah Barnes Petitt, and this was written on August 11th, 2025 at 6:30 a.m. But Yeah, so they start the article with, it's common to blame children for society's ills instead of having optimism for what children may achieve or what their world would look like. That doesn't negate the suffering that children endure, that everybody endures when they come into existence. Um, it's it's fine that people do innovative things and come up with solutions to problems, but it's unfair that we ask children to come into this world, suffer, and build a better world for us. It's our problem to solve. Like we have to solve the world that we made. We already exist, and we have to solve the problems that we made of the world. Um, Asking children, and we don't even ask, right? That's the thing. We don't ask. We just give birth to them and expect them to solve problems. Um, Whether it's a better world or not, they're going to suffer. We all go through, all sorts of suffering. So yeah, and then the article generally talks about climate change. That's the big anti-natalist thing that people are going after. It's climate change, climate change, climate change. But anti-natalism isn't about climate change. It's about human suffering, which, like I said, we all go through, right? So it's not, most of it is climate change. Like, oh, children will be born and they'll come up with solutions to the climate change and they'll do this and they'll do that. They do mention that most children will grow up to be pretty average and won't really contribute to any real solutions to big problems. But they say that they can do small things like throw a weekend party for someone. So I guess that's true, but is the weekend party worth the suffering? If you think about your own life and the suffering you go through, like, is all of that worth that weekend party that somebody throws? Seems weird, right? Um, and to end the article, they basically say across traditions, be it Christianity, Mormonism, Islam, Judaism, or others, religious communities tend to hold people in higher esteem, see children as blessings instead of burdens, and offer robust social support for parents. Um, Anti-natalism doesn't see children as burdens. Maybe on a misanthropic side, you could see children as burdens, but it's more from misanthropy. It's talking more about the harm that children will cause others and cause on the environment, on animals, on other human beings. The harm that they will cause. But that's the misanthropic side. The philanthropic side doesn't really consider kids burdens. It considers them human beings that suffer once in existence. And it's for them, it's not worth coming into existence. If you've seen my channel, I've been talking about the asymmetry, the axiological asymmetry between pleasure and pain. That's Benatar's, by the way, not mine. But yeah, like I've been talking about it, and there is an asymmetry between pleasure and pain in life and coming into existence. If you don't come into existence, you avoid the pain, but there's nobody there to miss any pleasure. So you avoid pain just as a net benefit. Um, but if you want to take on burdens, go for it. Like, I mean, um, take on burdens all you want. I have nothing against burdens. Just don't bring children without their consent into existence to suffer. That's pretty much all I want to say. But yeah, the whole article is, they mainly talk about climate change, and like I said, anti-natalism is not about climate change. It's a small part of it, but yeah, it's about human suffering, and anti-natalism tends to value humans, not value human suffering, but value human well-being so much. It's kind of like on the extreme end. So it's kind of like, don't have them suffer at all, by not bringing them into existence. So that's my video. And yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.